This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 20th day of June in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The main opposition, APNU-AFC, today stepped up its call for the Minister of Local Government, Nigel Dharamlal, to be completely removed from office, now that he has been arrested on rape and sexual assault allegations. With other members from non-governmental organizations, the APNU-AFC picketed the president's office this midday, echoing earlier calls for a complete and thorough investigation of the allegations against the minister by a teenage schoolgirl. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton said the matter is a very serious one that is being treated too casually by the government. He hammered the Guyana police force for granting station bail to the government minister hours after his arrest.
I'm very annoyed that preference is being given to Nigel Dharamlal. The nature of this case, he should not have been out of police custody. He is still in a position where he can influence where this goes. And then you were talking about administrative leave. Where in the world do you get administrative leave when there's an allegation of rape? We are going to continue to put pressure on the government because they are biased. They are not treating the crime as if it's a crime.
A number of leading women in the APNU were on the picket line today, demanding that the police treat the matter thoroughly with care for the teenager who has filed a sexual assault report. Opposition member and rights activist Simona Brooms said the investigation should also examine the crime of human trafficking, since based on the teen's open letter to the president, there are a number of serious signs of trafficking.
Control is one of the biggest things that you look for when you're looking for the evidence of human trafficking. You look for control, somebody in power, somebody of authority using state funds to lure her. How she get from there to Georgetown on the pretense. You understand what I mean? So I'm saying there are signs there based on the evidence that was out in the public, the statement. With those allegations, I'm saying there's sufficient in those statements by the young lady for us to call for the police to investigate for human trafficking. And this human trafficking is not a cease investigation. We have trained personnel at CID to peruse this. Longtime PNC Reform member and activist, former parliamentarian Lurley Nestor, told News Source that there is a great need for children to be protected in Guyana against sexual and other forms of abuse. She said the government needs to take a strong position on the issue, although it is one of its own ministers that is facing the sexual assault allegations.
In any other country, the minister would have resigned immediately, but we have to wait months before the child put the stuff out there. It is shameful. As a citizen of this country, I am ashamed that something like this happened, and the government seemed to be where the minister they should be out here protesting, where the female ministers, where the men in government, they should be out here protesting. It is nasty, it is cruel, and it's a disgrace to this country. And it's a stain on the government, and the president must know that.
And opposition firebrand Vanessa Kissoon brought a number of supporters from the town of Linden to be part of the protest. She said as a teacher and mother, she found it difficult to read the haunting statement of the sexual assault as written by the teenager. Kissoon said the allegations are troubling and the president needs to get it right.
So today we're here to express our hurt, our anger, and we as mothers, as women, we are passionate because we have daughters and we have sons. And that young woman is crying for help. She's crying for justice, and she called on no less of a person than the president. Mr. President, you are watching. Do the right thing. Do the right thing.
The former MP said those in high places need to be doing more to represent and protect the nation's children. She also called on other citizens to join the protest demanding justice for the 16-year-old girl. Meanwhile, opposition member of parliament Amanda Walton Desir told reporters that support is needed, especially for the teenager.
Here you have a man who has allegedly raped and sodomized an indigenous girl, and he's put on bail and he's kept in custody for 4 hours. Now, if you are right thinking, you have to see that there is something wrong with that. Because the law, all must be equal before the law. The law is the only equalizing factor that we have in this country. And when as Guyanese we begin to equivocate and we begin to selectively apply the law, we as Guyanese citizens are allowing our country to slide into decline. And we have to stop it.
And also on the picket line today in support of the teen was Pastor Loris Haywood, who said the church needs to stand up and not just be silent on the matter.
But the church in general is called upon to be salt, to be light, to be God's voice. As my big brother in the faith, when some of God put it years ago, among other things, to be an evangelizing voice, a teaching and discipling voice, a prophetic voice in the nation. There are some who like to stay silent, to say, oh, that's not my calling. That is not an option. There is a silence that is golden, but there is a silence that is yellow. And people should be wondering, where is the church in all this?
Calls have been mounting for the matter to be treated seriously by the government, the police, and the Child Care and Protection Agency. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Oh my lord. I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup.
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Sorry.
Jack?
Hey.
Boys, where you going with all that speed?
Yeah, today's the 15th. My NIS contributions are due, and I ain't even get the forms as yet.
Hold on. You mean to tell me that you're not aware that all self-employed persons can now make their NIS contributions using the MMG app from the comforts of their homes and offices?
Really? You know, I just pay my bills using MMG, you know?
Yes, Jack. And the thing's simple. All you have to do is open the app, select Pay Bills, Government Services, NIS, and Pay. They will prompt you to enter your NIS number, the month you're paying for, and the amount.
So I don't need to submit any form?
No. The only time you submit in a form is when you're making a claim.
Wait. I could make a claim too?
Oh, no, man. Jack. You didn't know that? Yes. All self-employed persons are entitled to all benefits from NIS. Well, except for the industrial benefits. And here's the good part. All of their forms, you can download them from the NIS website.
Well, girl, I'm really glad I bumped into you.
Anyhow, make sure you pay your bills later.
Later? I gotta sit down right here and pay my contributions first.
Take care.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to
New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 2260-415-7. Comfortable parking available.
Hours after his arrest at the Brickdam police station on Monday night, Minister of Local Government Nigel Daramalal was released on $1 million station bail. He was held for questioning on the rape and sexual assault allegations leveled against him by a 16-year-old schoolgirl. Daramalal turned up at the Brickdam police station in the company of his attorney Nigel Hughes just after sunset last evening. The teenage girl has reportedly provided statements to investigators from the Child Care and Protection Agency and the police, and has also spoken to representatives from a non-governmental organization that looks out for the rights of children and women. Minister Darmalal's arrest on Monday came days after the allegations by the teenager first surfaced on social media. He maintained his silence over the weekend, but in a statement to his attorneys on Monday morning, he denied the allegations. On Sunday, President Finale announced that the minister requested to be sent on administrative leave to allow for the investigation of the allegations. The president has come under criticism for not acting sooner on the allegations and allowing the minister to request leave before he made a move. The National Tushaus Council, which represents the interests of indigenous communities across the country, has issued a call for an independent and impartial investigation into what it called the deeply distressing allegations of rape made by a young indigenous girl against the Minister of Local Government, Nigel Daramalal. Mr. Daramalal, who has since been arrested on the rape allegations and released on station bail, has denied the allegations against him. Pressure has been mounting for him to step down from office and not just proceed on leave. In a statement, the indigenous rights body, the National Tushaus Council, said it is crucial that the allegations against the minister be treated with the seriousness and urgency that it requires. The group said the gravity of the allegations cannot be understated, as they strike at the heart of trust and integrity within the government and compromise the safety and well-being of the indigenous youth. The group said it is crucial that the allegations be treated with the utmost seriousness and urgency, as they demand a thorough and impartial investigation to determine the truth and deliver justice. The National Tushaus Council wants law enforcement agencies and the judiciary to establish an independent and impartial investigative body that will operate within the highest standards of transparency, objectivity, and professionalism. The Tushaus Council also called for experts who are experienced in handling cases of sexual violence to be taken on board to ensure the rights of the victim are protected. According to the group, the incident highlights the urgent need for comprehensive and sustained efforts to address gender-based violence and to protect the rights of indigenous girls and women in Guyana. The group called on the government to prioritize the implementation of robust policies, awareness campaigns, and educational activities and initiatives that promote gender equality, combat violence against women, and empower indigenous communities. The National Tushaus Council noted that it is committed to supporting and is standing in solidarity with the young victim, her family, and all those affected by the situation. The group said there is a need for a fair and expeditious legal process.
on, champ. I passed here last week and this shop lock up tight.
Why? We come down with the flow, so we have to take a couple days.
I can't deal with them kind of setbacks, Bano. I just get a headache when you see I can't make me little bread.
I know them ways, champ. But thank God for NIS.
NIS? What you got to do now with NIS?
I mean, what I got to do with NIS? I register as self-employed and I make monthly contributions to NIS. Oh. So you see, for them days I lose, NIS pay me back for most of them days.
What? That is good. You know, I always used to believe that it's only people in big offices and so they pay NIS.
Nah, man. NIS for any working person between the ages of 16 to 60. And as self-employed, you get all the benefit as an employee, except for industrial benefits.
So what I do for set up this thing?
All I gotta do is visit NIS on Breakdown, or if you're living out of town, you visit any NIS closest to your location. And once you register and your registration complete, you can start making NIS contributions.
Alright, so what I walk with and like how much money I gotta pay a month?
I ain't gotta walk with no big money. All I gotta walk with is your birth certificate and any farm ID. And when you reach down there, ask for the compliance department.
Good. Thanks for the information, bro. As soon as I left here, I went straight to the NIS office.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Minister of Education Priya Manak Chand today said the Education Ministry followed the established protocols in responding to the reports of the alleged sexual assault of a schoolgirl by a government minister. The teenage girl is currently in the care of the Child Care and Protection Agency. In responding to a series of questions from reporters today, the Education Minister said that at no point did the Ministry of Education or the minister meet with the victim, although there were some plans in place to set up a meeting between the girl and her. She said upon receiving screenshots of the allegations last Thursday, the Education Ministry immediately made contact with the school that the victim was attending. Contact was also made with the victim by the Chief Education Officer, Saddam Hussein.
At that point, we didn't know whether it was true, whether the person existed. What it said was this was a schoolgirl. So immediately, when we received that without the sensation behind it, we would check to find out where this child is, if she exists, and then have the steps follow. And that's exactly what we did. We checked to see through the school that was named whether she existed and how it is we could support.
An attorney at law by profession, Minister Manak Chand said state officials are mandated by law to take into consideration a child's view once he or she is over the age of 12. She also said it was the intention of the Education Ministry to meet with the child at the earliest possible time. However, she indicated that she could not meet with the ministry before Monday.
The child said she couldn't make it to come to see us. She gave very cogent reasons. She had exams and she had other things that she wanted to do, to come and engage anyone who could help her do anything, whether it's counseling, make a report, do anything that she required. She couldn't come until the date she gave was Monday.
By Monday, the matter was already engaging the attention of the state, including President Irfan Ali, who, in responding to a request, sent the local government minister on administrative leave. Minister Manak Chand said given the recent developments, the victim no longer requires the help of the Education Ministry.
Subsequent to that, the state and various other bodies have stepped in to help. She's no longer, I don't believe she requires our help any longer. But nothing here was done outside of the norm. This is very normal. The alternative is this, because with all the people saying we shouldn't have made contact, so we get a document saying that a child needs help. What should I do with it? Just don't do anything with it? Just leave it, park it, and say, well, it's not a Ministry of Education, this is Child Protection, so we're just going to leave it here. That's not how we operate, ever.
Manak Chand also used the opportunity to call for responsible reporting on the matter. Meanwhile, in an effort to respond to the needs of children, the Education Ministry has established welfare divisions at 88 secondary schools across the country. After more than 2 decades of operations in Guyana, the Esso Exploration Company, which is a subsidiary of ExxonMobil, has accumulated 2.3 trillion Guyana dollars in assets. That's according to the company's vice president, Philippe Rietema. He explained that should the company require additional financing to respond to adverse events such as an oil spill, it has access to additional funds through its foreign affiliate companies, including the U.S. oil giant ExxonMobil. Mr. Rietema made the disclosure at a recent press briefing.
It couldn't be further from the truth. Like as I've described, you can see on the financial statements $2.3 trillion of assets. So we're as far from an assetless company as you can find.
The official said in 2022 alone, Esso Exploration invested more than 1 trillion Guyana dollars into its operations locally, which included the production of oil and gas in the Stabroek Block. Together with its co-venturers, Hess and Sinuk, the oil company invested more than 4 trillion Guyana dollars in the Stabroek Block and has committed to investing an additional 4 trillion through the year 2027.
The assets that you see on the balance sheet did in fact increase by about $1 trillion Guyanese dollars. You can see that in the financial statements. That's an around 80% increase year over year. We don't have projections that I can share with you on 2023, but as I've said, we're committed over the next 5 years as a COVI group to invest another 4 trillion Guyanese dollars. So you would expect, as Payara comes online and in the future Yellowtail, that the assets will increase over time.
But even with the massive investment, the company had no need to secure financial loans thanks to its affiliate companies. According to the Exxon official, Esso Exploration secures its finances through equity contributors.
To date, all of our capital has been sourced through equity contributions to ExxonMobil Guyana. We have no loans, as you can see on the balance sheet.
In its 2022 financial statement, the company received an equity contribution of $39.2 billion last year. In 2021, its equity contribution totaled more than $42.2 billion. Just recently, the company, together with its co-venturers, launched a $2 billion affiliate company guarantee with the Environmental Protection Agency to cover any expenses that may arise should there be an oil spill in the Stabroek Block. The Ministry of Education today signed 6 contracts totaling $560.7 million for the construction of a new secondary school here in Georgetown. The new St. Mary's Secondary School, which will be built where the old school once stood at the junction of Brick Dam and Camp Street, is designed to accommodate 600 students. The school will be constructed by 4 contractors: K&S General Construction Inc., A. O'Gracine and Sons General Contracting, Cummings Electrical Company, and R&D Engineering Service. Those 4 were awarded a total of 6 contracts. The Education Ministry's Permanent Secretary Alfred King said upon completion the school will have a number of modern amenities and facilities.
There will be a now modern facility and a 3-storied facility with 10 classrooms upstairs. You'll have 12 classrooms at the middle flat, and downstairs you'll have 6 labs or laboratories with including ICT, technology lab, and of course the industrial arts facility. The building will of course be outfitted with fire prevention equipment to ensure that we can offer some protective services in the case of fire, which include fire escape exits, extinguisher alarms, and so on.
The secondary school is earmarked to be completed within 6 to 7 months. Education Minister Priya Manak Chan said the construction of the new school forms part of her ministry's push to achieve universal education.
This is another step in taking us closer to universal secondary education. So what we want in Guyana is for every child, wherever they live, to be able to access secondary education universally. That means all over Guyana.
Guyana has long achieved universal primary education. However, the country has faced a number of setbacks in its drive to achieve universal secondary education. Minister Manak Chan said notwithstanding the challenges, her ministry is forging ahead with its plans.
As you know, within the last 2 weeks, we signed contracts for the rebuilding of the Christchurch Secondary, as well as the St. George's Secondary. When we came into office, we came in with a space deficit for high school children. And that got worse with the St. George's fire, the Christchurch fire, and the North Ruimveldt fire. And so we were on a massive rebuilding exercise.
Meanwhile, tomorrow, the Good Hope Secondary School on the east coast of the Demerara will be commissioned. According to the Minister of Education, a number of other schools are being constructed across the country. Additionally, several other schools have been extended, including Queen's College, the Bishop's High School, and St. Rose's High in the city, where new blocks are being erected. Madam Chan said focus is also being placed on the quality of education.
Our effort is not only to fix infrastructure and build out spaces, but to provide a quality education once children get into the classroom. And so it's a massive undertaking that requires not only the government, but the involvement of everybody, including parents, guardians, and the wider society at large.
The government believes that by 2024, Guyana will be closer to achieving universal secondary education.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, Reuters in a report said the Cuban peso has stalled at 200 to the dollar on the informal market this week, matching an all-time low and signaling more trouble for efforts to stem an ongoing currency and inflation crisis on the communist-run island nation. The peso had hovered at 100 pesos to the dollar a year ago, slumped to 200 last October, and then rebounded to 160 as 2023 began, before depreciating back towards 200 in recent weeks. The exchange rate shows the impoverishment of the economy and families in dollar terms, said Pavel Vidal, a former Cuban central bank economist. A weak peso, the currency in which most Cubans are paid, undercuts the buying power of already paltry salaries that rarely top 5,000 pesos monthly, or $25 at the current exchange. The peso cost of many goods imported in dollars also skyrockets as the peso plunges further inflating consumer prices. Experts estimate 40% of Cuba's 11 million people rely entirely on pesos and have no access to dollars, which are available primarily via remittances from abroad or via tourism. Fidel said recent market reforms such as modest support for the private sector and a tepid deregulation of foreign trade have not done enough to incentivize domestic production and control inflation. The state brands the informal exchange rate as illegal, but has proven unable to shut it down. Havana largely blames the United States for the wider economic crisis, linking it to U.S. sanctions on trade, investment, and banking with Cuba. Haitian children face a severe lack of food, medical support, and education, the head of the United Nations Children's Agency UNICEF said in the capital, Port-au-Prince, on Monday, hours after heavy shooting rang out near a packed camp of displaced persons. Heavily armed gangs have expanded their turf and now control communities accounting for some 2 million people, according to UN estimates, mostly women and children living amid frequent extrajudicial killings and sexual violence. This has fueled a humanitarian crisis, which the agency believes has internally displaced over 165,000 people, while driving many to attempt a dangerous escape by boat. At a meeting on Haiti last week, UNICEF Executive Director Catherine Russell said UNICEF has documented an unprecedented 30% increase in Haitian children suffering from severe wasting from last year, making them far more vulnerable to dying from cholera, which re-emerged in October. And finally tonight, international news. Romanian prosecutors on Tuesday charged US-British social media influencer Andrew Tate, who has gained millions of fans by promoting an ultra-masculine lifestyle, with human trafficking, rape, and forming a gang to sexually exploit women. Tate was indicted with his brother Tristan and 2 Romanian female suspects. They are under house arrest pending an investigation into abuses against 7 women, whom prosecutors say were lured through false claims of relationships. The suspects have denied the accusations. The Tate brothers, both former kickboxers, are the highest profile suspects facing trial for human trafficking in Romania. Andrew Tate, a self-described misogynist, has grown his following of mainly young men by building a lavish hyper-macho image of driving fast cars and dating beautiful women. The 4 suspects were held in police custody from December 29 until March 31, before they were placed under house arrest, which prosecutors on Tuesday sought to extend. A judge will decide on Wednesday whether to prolong the detention for 30 days or replace it with a lighter measure.
And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.